Welcome, one and all, to this show, where we will go head deep into not only the lore of the man behind the multi-platform, multi-game guild known as Xenocorp Inc., but also into the inner workings of the mind of the one and only Frey Man, in what is simply known as the Frey Files. Please enjoy.
Pretty good role player. Played on a couple of different internet servers, one of which is still going to this day, a great server if you get a chance to check it out. And that's called Amia. I actually hosted the server for the first couple years of its life. Magnum Man was a good friend of mine from, coincidentally, the Starfleet Command series of games. Now you can kind of see why I segued us into that way. Magnum asked me to kind of host the server when he split it from Aerolith originally. Then at that time, I didn't feel like it'd be a good idea for me to play on the server because it was like a conflict of interest, right? If I host it and I'm the guy that owns the server and everything, it just people would be not at all convinced that there wasn't any shenanigans going on. So when I left the company that I was at and decided no longer could host the server, and they took the other admins of Amia took it over graciously. At that point, I decided to start playing, and ultimately ended up playing several years and had a great time on that server. A lot of really fond memories.
Yeah, I have fond memories of that server as well. So I bought my laptop in May of last year, and it was cost me $900 approximately. Would I be able to play these types of games on my laptop?
Well, it's hard to say. I'd have to look at more. I'd have to get more information about your specs, and I don't want to turn this into a technical consultation thing, because then I'd have to charge you. But I'm joking. But depends. It just depends. The great thing about technology is that it's advanced so much in the last several years that a lot of stuff that is under $1,000 will run a lot of these games. You could run probably 76 and run it reasonably well on it. You'd have to give it a try though. It just depends, because you have to, as always, you have to look at what the minimum specs are, right?
That makes sense.
Yep. That's why I love computers so much. They're logical. You don't have to worry about illogical stuff like emotions and sentiment and that kind of stuff from computers.
Is that also the reason that you play undead characters as well?
That's a very insightful question, and the answer actually is yes. That's one of the reasons why I prefer role-playing necromancers and having those type of characters, is because undead. I mean, there's no complications. Some people, I always thought it interesting because some people said they thought it was because it was a position of power or control, and I can see that. But for example, the way that Frey de Megere was to Sasha, his undead daughter, for all intents and purposes, the RP relationship between them was anything but, a controlling, domineering relationship. So I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that, as you stated, and I would agree with that it's much more that there's since the body is just a vessel. That's the way that I've always kind of mentally imagined that these individuals, these people that do this type of body crafting, or soul crafting, if you want to look at it that way, too, right? The body is just a vessel, and so when you look at it that way, when you realize that the soul of whoever that soul was that previously inhabited that body is gone, and this is just flesh. That's all it is. And if you break away from but it's still somebody's body, and you look at it in that way, then things change, and you start to see kind of a different way of viewing things. And so, it's interesting to go there. That's one of the reasons why I really enjoy RP, is to put myself in positions that I would never ever be able to be in. I could never have been Frey de Mager in real life. Like, never. That could never have been me. No way. But I enjoy RPing different, difficult types of roles because it challenges you to get outside of your comfort level.
I probably will play the same way, but by that I mean I get heavily involved in my characters, but all my characters they're completely different. They're a bit like me, but they are vastly different than me, and but they are unlike you. All my characters are very emotionally driven.
Yeah, I think there's some. I still think there's some emotional drive behind a lot of my characters, but I think I'm more interested in exploring some of the more extravagant aspects, right? Like I want to if I'm going to do this to try and make myself uncomfortable, then I don't necessarily want to be extremely uncomfortable, but I want to make sure I put myself in the uncomfortable position. Because that's how you learn. That's the way you learn things. That's the way you can open your mind to new positions and new ways of seeing things, is to experience different things and look at things from a different way, get outside of the bubble. So it was important for me to do that, and RP was a great way for me to handle that.
As always in my videos, please comment, 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 please.